Right now, somewhere in your city, a stadium is filling up. Thousands of strangers walk through the gates. Alone, most of them are polite, quiet, careful. But the moment they join that crowd, something in them changes. And the real answer to why is far stranger than you think. You felt it yourself, maybe at a concert, maybe at a protest, maybe just on a crowded train platform when everyone suddenly surges toward the doors at once. Your individual judgment quietly steps aside. Something else takes over. Scientists have a name for this. They call it de-individuation. It simply means the loss of your sense of self as a single identifiable person. When you're alone, you're you. Your name, your face, your reputation, all attached to every choice you make. But in a crowd, you become part of a larger shape, a wave of people, a chant, a mass of bodies moving together. And your brain, ancient as it is, reads that shift instantly. Here's where it gets strange. This isn't a modern glitch. It's something built into you long ago. Picture your ancestors on the grasslands of East Africa, hundreds of thousands of years ago. Alone, a human was prey. Slow, easy to catch. But in a group, a crowd of 30, moving together, looked less like 30 snacks and more like one large, dangerous creature. Predators avoided that. So brains that rewarded blending into the group survived. That reward system never left. It's still sitting in your skull. In the late 1960s, psychologist Philip Zimbardo gave participants hoods covering their faces. The hooded, anonymous participants delivered significantly longer electric shocks than those whose faces stayed visible. Nothing else changed, only whether people could see each other's faces. When identity disappeared, behavior changed, instantly. This same mechanism shows up in much larger groups, crowds, mobs, even online spaces. In 1895, sociologist Gustave Le Bon wrote about crowd psychology. He argued that large groups form something like a temporary collective mind, where individual restraint fades and emotion spreads rapidly from person to person. His ideas predate social media by over a century, but modern researchers, including social psychologist Stephen Riker, found Le Bon was partly right and partly wrong. Riker's work suggests that in a crowd, you don't lose your identity completely, you swap it. Your personal identity, tied to your name and usual self-control, fades into the background, and a new identity rises to take its place, the identity of the group. Suddenly the question isn't, what would I do? It's, what would we do? And we can be capable of things I never would be, wonderful things, and terrible ones. This is why a crowd can sing together, comfort strangers, and lift people onto shoulders in celebration, and why it can also turn, seemingly in an instant, into something that frightens even the people inside it. Have you ever cheered, chanted, or laughed at something cruel in a group, then gone home and quietly wondered, why did I do that? That wasn't really you breaking your own rules. That was an older, group-shaped version of you, briefly stepping forward. Here's the part that should make you pause. This effect isn't limited to physical crowds anymore. When you scroll through social media, you're standing in a strange kind of crowd. A username isn't quite a face. A profile picture isn't quite a person watching your reaction. Researchers studying online behavior have found this same drop in self-monitoring in digital spaces. People say things online, with their real names attached, that they'd likely never say to someone's face in a quiet room. The crowd doesn't have to be physical. It just has to feel large and anonymous enough for your ancient brain to stop tracking you as you. So what do you do with this? You can't switch off a mechanism that's been running in human brains for hundreds of thousands of years. Older than language, older than agriculture, but you can recognize it. The next time you feel that shift, that loosening, that sense of becoming part of something bigger than yourself, you can notice it happening in real time. Ask yourself a simple question. If everyone here could see my actual face, would I still do this? That question reintroduces the thing the crowd temporarily removed, your identity, your reflection looking back at you. It won't make the pull disappear. The pull is ancient, and ancient things don't vanish just because you notice them. But it might be enough to make you pause, and sometimes a pause is everything. So tonight, when you're back in a crowd, at a concert, in a comment section, on a crowded platform, watch what happens to you. Notice the moment your name starts to feel less important than the group's. Because right now, somewhere in your city, a stadium is filling up. And somewhere inside that crowd, thousands of people are quietly becoming someone else.